I have come to tell you that you have been tricked. Your logical mind and your emotional mind are both equally important. What? I know I'm in a mood today. I have heard a lot of, oh, they're just being emotional, or, oh, yeah, they're just being too irrational. Both of those things are so necessary. Here's why. Our emotional mind is part of who we are. Making emotional decisions is part of life. I love to talk about this because it is truth. I am a black woman. If there's a topic that has something to do with being black and a woman, I am very likely to become emotional about that because it directly impacts me. That doesn't mean that my take on it is less valuable because it's emotional or it comes from a place of being emotionally vested. It will be similar to you choosing to not respect someone's firsthand experience with a product or a company because they have firsthand experience. That's literally the equivalent. It's like you have firsthand experience, therefore it's irrelevant. You're biased. So when we make emotional decisions, it's not always bad. If you're making too many emotional decisions, for sure, but it's not always bad. The same thing for your logical mind. Our logical minds are great. They're analytical, they make decisions, they're able for us to see, to take a step back and look at pieces and how they connect. Being logical and rational about things is also super important. I would never, however, say that one was more important than the other. They're just different ways of looking at something. Now, why is this coming up? I'm going to say something I'm probably going to regret right later, but I was having a conversation with my friend about the Israel Palestine situation. And I have, honest to God, done my best to stay as far away from this topic as possible. But here we are. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna spend time on who's right and who's wrong because that's not where we're at. What I will say is one of my friends was making a comment about where she stood, and the person she was talking to was someone who's directly impacted by the situation. And so, from her perspective, she was like, well, I'm being logical and they're being emotional, so they should change. No. Being logical often comes because you are not impacted by the situation. Not always. I'm not like only people who aren't impacted can be logical. That's not true. But especially in situations that are extremely emotionally charged, if you're able to keep a fully rational mind, it tends to be because the situation and the outcome don't impact you, not directly. And that is something that is extremely important to keep in mind when we have these opinions. The same thing for people who are emotionally vested. Like the way I explained it to my friend and the way I will explain it to you is situations like that when you're on the outside looking in, be it the Israel Palestine situation or BLM or any of the situations that are going on globally. When you're on the outside looking in, you are literally taking a snapshot of a moment. Even if you go back and you research 20 years back, you're taking snapshots of moments where you have people who are emotional because they're living the moments. They're not able to go disconnect and do something else. Their family is there, their parents or cousins, someone's in it, and they can't not ever be in it because they're in it. And recognizing that those are two very different sets of feelings and realities, and one of them doesn't trump the other because they're both necessary to have meaningful conversations and change. But you won't have that if you believe that your way of thinking is superior because it's not. It's just different. So, in situations like this one, if you have an opinion, that's fine. We all do. Opinions are like noses. We all have one. It's okay to have an opinion. Do you need to express it though? Especially if your opinion is about something that doesn't impact you and it does impact people you care about. There's this real push to be like, I have an opinion, I must express it. damn the consequences. And I just have to ask, is your opinion more valuable than those relationships? And if it is, then I mean, live and let live. But if it's not, then I have to know why you feel the need to express it. I've got lots of opinions, loads, about lots of different things. Sometimes I share them, sometimes I don't. Because one, my opinion very well may change. That's kind of what opinions do. You get more information and then you realize, oh, well, maybe that stance I had before isn't right. Or, maybe this isn't true. Or, oh, maybe this is true. I had no idea. Like, you gather more intel and then you make different choices. And if I'm constantly saying what I think about something all the time, then I'm constantly changing my mind. And sometimes everything I think, I don't need to say. I'm not suggesting you hide who you are from people you love. I'm not suggesting that at all. I am saying that if a situation does not at all involve you, like, period, then I have to ask, who are you helping and who are you hurting? And if it's, I'm expressing my opinion because it's the right thing to do, I just ask why. Again, regardless of where you fall on the sides of these conflicts, these are questions that it's important to ask. Because I keep hearing, oh, this person's making emotional decisions, so they're discounted. And then I hear, well, they're just being too rational. They're not considering the impacts of XYZ. And everybody's right because all of that's true. And then everybody's wrong because no one's listening. So what good is it to share opinions if people aren't listening to each other? And if I'm clearly judging you, are you going to listen to me? Are you going to trust me? Will I be able to change your mind? Whatever you decide to do with your life and this information, it is yours. I just ask, what is your goal? And is sharing everything you think helping you accomplish it? Change your perspective. Change the world.